Howdy howdy, it's Pierre Perry, and welcome back to Fuga Melodies of Steel 2. Now, while I was streaming this game, I promised that I would go over the bonus material in this game. That transcends, or rather, it covers a wide variety of stuff. All of it that I can cover will be in here. I don't think I'll be able to get the worst ending on my own, though. That seems a bit too difficult. But, you know, if I can find footage of it, maybe I'll find a way to do it. We'll see. But either way, yeah, we are here to basically cover everything that I was not able to cover in my main streams. So, how about we start off with the finale of The Adventures of Sucre? Let's see how this funny little story concludes. At the Research Institute, the Fountain of Innovation, 1 month after exploring the ruins.
Perhaps we wasted that ancient weapon.
By burying it in the cave, you mean?
Yes.
I think we did the right thing. There'll always be people like Professor Burry out looking for it after all. We're not in any place to use it yet anyway. Actually, I don't think we ever ought to put that thing to use.
Perhaps you're right.
I agree.
We have the Juno now after all. With a bit more research,
we'll make it to the moon. I know we will. Make sure you take me with you. You bet we will.
He speaks, but meanwhile, at Count Novaloon's estate, the Juno has been uncovered at last. The day of return is at hand. Hey, why is the moon getting closer, huh? They may be getting to the moon yet. Fuck, what's gonna happen in Sucre in Fuga 3? I guess we'll have to see if and when Fuga 3 is a thing. Okay, so I don't know if I'll be able to obtain these items for showing how their abilities work, but there are 2 new items that you get in New Game Plus in the shop. The Gold Paw Bun, which costs 100,000 rings. It doubles the affinity increase and increases the experience gained in battle by 100%. Pretty damn good. And the other one is in the material shop where you can get the Gasco medal, which doubles your resolution and empathy increase. Good for if you want to, you know, speed through the choices, I suppose. But also, by the time you rack up enough money for that, you'll probably have already played the game a couple times over, so I personally don't really see the reason as to why you would need that, but I digress. Okay, another thing I don't really know where to put into the VOD. The secret, toilet pissing cutscene thing. There's a chance that the toilet thing will be golden, as you can see here, and it will teleport across the tank if you make eye contact with it. But if you're able to actually get it by surprise and use it, it'll give you a deluxe hero mode thing, so that's cool, I guess. I didn't think that mechanic needed extra mechanics added to it, but sure. Next thing I want to show off is one of the sealed routes. This was not previously available while I was streaming the game. These routes that glow yellow. I'm not going to be showing each and every one of them because I don't know how much new stuff is there, but I figured I would at least show the first one since it gives us a bit of an achievement right there, so it's worth something. Let's see just how tough these battles really are. We're starting out with one of these guys. Ain't that just peachy? Let's stun that guy, yeah. Seems like a good thing to do. That did not work. Okay. Yeah, he seems to have like the health of like a late game enemy. So, yeah, these are definitely designed with New Game Plus stats in mind, which is a bit scary, but also, you know, I appreciate that they added something unique to the maps. Makes the game just a little bit more replayable. I appreciate it. I take it back. I take it all fucking back. The New Game Plus routes are the devil. Look at this shit! We're gonna be covering Link events. Not every single one of them, though. That is way too much. Way too much for this. Instead, I will just be cleaning up the ones that we started on the stream and doing a couple extra ones that I found humorous as I started getting a lot of them. We will be starting with Malt and Kyle. We saw the first part of theirs, but we did not see the second or third, so let's get in there.
Malt.
Hey, Malt. Oh, hi, Kyle.
Rescue?
Is something going on? Look like you got your spine ripped out of you.
Désolé.
I'm fine. Just tired. Leave me be.
Eh!
You, sure that's all this is? I said leave me be! I'm sorry, okay? I really am tired.
Désolé.
Tired of spending every waking second thinking about doom and gloom? What was with that whole we're too accustomed to this bit anyway? Were you just tired then, too?
Merci.
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Malt.
Come on, Malt. Pull yourself together, man. Part 3. Do you really think we should keep at this? I hate how much easier this feels now than it did when we were fighting the Burmans.
Malt.
Listen here. Back then against the Burmans, it was life or death. We were at war. So yeah, things were harder back then.
Ouais.
That's a good point. Out here now, we're up against hunks of scrap. What's there to worry about? I got no qualms fighting machines.
Eh.
But nothing. You blame yourself too much for all this mess. That's because You may be the oldest one here, but it's time you quit looking down on the rest of us. We all got our reasons to be here, and you don't get to pretend all our fights are yours. I ain't here because you're the oldest, okay? I'm here because I trust you. Kyle,
Oh.
you're too nice for your own good.
Malt.
It really ticks me off, you know? Always has, ever since day one. You mean when you showed up at Petite Mona? You could have said something, you know? And ruined my chance to use it to my advantage? Yeah, right. Gah! There goes said chance, though. Great.
Quoi?
Use your advantage how? What were we even competing for?
No.
Like I'd answer that. What are you all blushing and embarrassed for?
Ta gueule.
I'm not! Shut up! I'm never gonna tell you!
Merci.
Thank you for always being there to give me the push I need to keep going. All I ever did was shove you out of the way. True, you never go easy, do you? Who would I be if I did? Hold yourself together for us, alright?
Je m'en occupe.
Don't worry. I won't lose you or any one of us. I promise. A quick side note, I got all the gears for the secret movie thing while I was in the middle of chapter 6, so that's why Malt's eyes are kind of fucked up right now, I assume. I would go a little bit further, get those eyes fixed, but... Look, I'm tired, dude. Turns out making a bonus episode like this is a lot harder than it looks. Chugga Conroy makes it look so easy. Next up, Malt and Socks. What do you think the future has in store for Gosco? Airships will become a more common form of transportation, I imagine. Otherwise, we will remain cut off from one another and secluded from the world. We would be Gosco no more.
Ouais.
We can't be a land of the free if we're all trapped, can we?
Effectivement.
Airships will become a necessity. All lands must remain accessible. Everything's fine. Everything seems fine now, but I'd hate to see Petite Mona get cut off from the world.
Affirmative.
Indeed, we must see to a mass production of airships. To that end, I will spend my time devising new forms of airships that are faster and easier to produce. From there, I would like to design smaller airship vessels for more personal travel as well. I like the way you think. Always setting goals for yourself that help the greater good.
Malt.
Yes, well, ideas and goals alone will not suffice. I'm sure you'll see them through, though. Well, ain't that nice. Up next, Malt and Sheena, Part 3.
Dis-moi.
Do you recall when I spoke of people like me living in hiding?
Ouais.
Of course. The people of Gosco don't harbor much prejudice against us, but the same can't be said for the Burman Empire. How so? Since only Felineko are capable of using spells, many were persecuted for their race alone. Yeah, Malt, come on, dude. Didn't we go over this in Game 1? Maybe that's why the Burman army came down so hard on all of you during the war. I imagine so. To this day, many Felineko are forced to flee the Burman Empire or risk their own lives. Sure hope Gosco never winds up like the Empire.
Tu sais?
I hope to work to ensure that such never happens.
but I'm unsure of what difference I can make alone.
Susie.
I bet we can think something up together. 2 heads are better than 1.
Your help may be just what I need. Thank you, Malt.
Kyle and May. Part 2 and 3. Hey, May. Can I talk to you for a sec?
I'm gonna be mad if you make fun of my brother.
Oh.
I won't, I swear. Me and Malt aren't enemies or anything. I don't hate the guy, okay?
You mean it? Even though you never play together back home?
How could I? You two are always off with your moo sheep. I just get in the way. Plus, those things reek.
You wouldn't be in the way.
Nah, I definitely would. I'm more of an indoor guy anyway.
Oh, maybe we should all play inside instead.
Yeah, maybe. Let's do that when we all get home. You, me, and Malt, too.
Hey, that sounds fun.
Good, great. Oh, well, at least that solves that problem.
Hey, Kyle. Hey. When we go back to Petite Mona, it's all peaceful. What are we gonna play together inside?
Oh, well, we could, Me and Malt never really hung out, huh? What would we even do? If we go to my house, we could play some games. I've got cards, a chessboard, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, are they fun?
You betcha. I bet I could beat that brother of yours, too.
Wanna beat him?
Of course I do. Me and Malt are... We're rivals, see?
What's a rival?
A rival is a bit different than a normal friend. They're special. They motivate you.
That's why you don't act like friends then.
I guess you could say that.
We can't be rivals, can we?
Why's that?
Because we're already best friends.
True. I guess you and me aren't meant to be rivals. Well, ain't that sweet. Part 3 of Kyle and Sheena. Remember when you mentioned going back to Parisia to look for books and stuff? I think I really want to do it.
You do? That's fantastic.
Once this whole thing is over, Lieutenant Muscat would probably lend a hand, right?
I do imagine she would. There are likely many throughout Gasco who wish to see its cultural heritage rescued. Let's see to it.
Yeah, and you know, I was thinking those spells of yours might come in handy. You want to come with me when I go?
I'd be happy to. In fact, I had planned on it from the start. I'll continue my studies so I might actually be of help once the time comes. I rather like the idea of having a goal in mind to work towards.
Feels like with you around, we might actually bring back some of what Parisia had back in the day. Thanks, Sheena. Well, that's unfortunate considering what happens in the final chapter of the game. Kyle and Jen, part 3. Hey, can we talk? What do you need? Remember how you said you'd help with the factory or something of the sort? I'm not looking to get any favors repaid or nothing, but I can't help but wonder what you meant. Sorry about that. My dad used to be a manager back in the day, see? He quit after some trouble, but I'm sure he still knows a thing or two about good management. So I figured if I can get him to teach me, maybe I could help you run the factory. Ah, alright then. There's some help I could definitely use. If I can trust my life in your hands, I figure I can trust you with just about anything else, too. Might be a good business opportunity for me, too, so don't go running that factory into the ground before I get there. Listen to you. Already talking like the sort of guy I'd like to have around as a partner. Sounds like we have ourselves a deal then, Mr. Sounds like we have ourselves a deal then, Mr. Future Factory... Fucking hell. Sounds like we have ourselves a deal then, Mr. Future Factory Manager? And that was the last line of the thing. I fucked that up 3 times. Jesus Christ. Socks and Boron. Part 3.
We talk, Socks? Well, what has you so down? We might be different and all, but Malt's definitely changed way more than we have. Perhaps, but that's to be expected. Because we've been fighting for so long? That is part of it, yes, but Malt is also the oldest among...
Okay, so I'm gonna be real. I don't remember reading the first 2 parts of that in the stream. I think I was really sleep deprived when I was making the list, and I just put that there because of the funny Among Us. Anyway, next up on the block, Socks and Wappa, part 2 and 3.
Socks, can we talk about a relationship for a sec? I'm not sure I'm ready for a relationship so suddenly. Yeah, guess maybe we got off to a weird start. Could you please explain what's going on here? Fine, if I have to. I realized something on that trip I took this past year. Realized the whole world revolves around love and peace. Right. And? But then I realized I only get this love and peace stuff. So I figured maybe if I tried them out for myself, I might learn a thing or two, yeah? I am not sure I follow. I guess just having a boyfriend all of a sudden isn't the right way to figure things out. So let's just forget about it, eh? Hang on one moment. For what now? Perhaps we ought to try this love simulation of yours. It would do no good to leave your questions unanswered. I will do my part to analyze this boyfriend-girlfriend love and peace dynamic as well. Seriously? Wappa, it is time we go on a date. Whoa now, well, why's that? Portside dates seem to be the norm here in Gasco these days. By my analysis, the recent adoption of airship technology has consumed the attention of couples throughout the country. That's so, eh? As such, the ports where these airships come and go are locations full of romantic opportunities. Okay, that kind of makes sense, I guess. But excuse my long-winded explanation. Is there anywhere you would like to go? I guess the port sounds nice. I like airships as much as anyone. I like anything that takes you up high. Rooftops, trees, you name it. Indeed, by my calculations, I believe you and I to be quite compatible with one another. We'll have our test date the moment we reach the next port. So, like, what's love and peace all about then? That will require some more investigation to determine. Yeah, huh? Oh well. Those airships should be fun though, eh? Indeed, I imagine it will be quite fun together with you.
But next we're going to Vanilla. And there's quite a few of these because the game made me connect with her a lot. But first on the list is Vanilla and Kyle Part 3.
Might I inquire more about your life in Petite Mona, Kyle?
Be my guest. Life out in the countryside starting to appeal to you or something?
Simply bitten by the curiosity bug is all. How long did it take you to grow accustomed to a lifestyle Petite Mona?
Honestly, it wasn't until we got back from the war a year ago. I hated the place up till then.
Is that so?
Truth is, I'm not sure I'm even accustomed to the place now. Still hate the stench for one.
I sense no contempt for the village in how you speak of it, though. Surely you do not detest it.
I like it because the gang's all there.
By which you mean Malt and the others?
The war put us all through a lot together. We know each other inside and out, the good and the bad.
I had friends back in Paris.
I had friends back in Parisia, sure, but none I knew and trusted like I do everyone here. So, I like living with all of them. Just so happens, Petite Mona is the place we're at.
Home is wherever those we feel at home with are, I suppose. The loss of Paris has saddened me greatly, but perhaps I too might find a new place to call home, so long as I am with those I love.
Good to hear. We're stuck in this bucket of bolts for the time being, though.
Do you not consider this your home for now? I find myself feeling so.
Sure I do. We got everyone here, even Lady Vanilla herself, yeah?
You tease me so.
You ought to come visit Petite Mona sometime, take in all its great aromas.
Perhaps I will.
Up next, Vanilla and Boron.
Vanilla, I'm pretty worried, you know. What for? Where's this coming from? You went through a lot, right? But you still always think about Gasco's future, like your dad. I can hardly handle my own problems. I don't know how you do it. Unfortunately, no change will come simply from the time children such as ourselves spend thinking on the matter. Greater peace in Gasco is built from many smaller moments of tranquility. If you simply focus on making those within your reach happy, that alone will contribute to the greater good. Really? I'm pretty big, so my arms can reach real far, and I can make lots of people happy. I can even reach you right now. Sure hope you get happier too. Your kind heart truly is the biggest part of you, isn't it?
Next, Vanilla and Hack Part 3.
How'd you handle yourself during the war, Hack? You were the youngest boy here, were you not frightened? Me? Nah, I figured it was my job to cheer everyone up when things get them down. That's why I'd go around and play, never mind. Why? What did you do? Nope, nothing. I can't tell her I played pranks to make people laugh. I just, laugh out loud, be all, we got this, piece of cake. I see. Perhaps you did more for everyone here outside of battle, keeping their spirits up. I want to help more in battle too, but I wouldn't mind if we never had to again. Laughing through anything is key, though. That's why I can't stop playing pranks. No!
Super.
So long as they are pranks done for good fun and do not bother anyone, I see no need to stop you. And don't worry, I'll only think up ones that are fun, not annoying. I do hope you mean that.
Next up, Vanilla and Socks.
The
Socks, might we chat?
program.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You truly have overcome your nerves. What sort of magic enables you so? No silly magic or difficult reasoning needed. I simply wish to prove something. Prove what exactly? That any claims which suggest you make others nervous are entirely unfounded.
Eh bien.
If I can even speak to you with ease, surely that is proof enough to be the contrary. And besides, there's more. I also simply want to get to know you better. My apologies for ever suggesting we might not get along. With the way you found the path clear through both of our negative mindsets, perhaps we are in fact destined for one another. Well, that has me feeling uncomfortable now in all sorts of new ways. You might want to cherish that feeling, you know?
Vanilla and Sheena.
The
I truly adore my sister, you know.
oui.
I do know, yes.
Eh bien.
Perhaps I might try speaking with her much the way you do with your own. Busy though she may be at a time like this, we are the only family either of us have left.
Ah bon?
You do not always need to act strong in front of her, you know. You don't speak often, do you? I would wager she hopes you might open up to her more, you know? Was that how your sister was?
Oui.
I've always been quite affectionate towards her, so I certainly hope so. Perhaps you have a point. Speaking with her should be fun.
Voilà.
Once we find peace again, I am certain you'll make time for me.
Oui.
May that day come soon.
And finally, Vanilla and Brits.
Salut.
Hey, you want to talk more today?
Oui.
Perhaps you can tell me some positive things about your country this time. What you like here in Gosco, too. Well, no one can deny that Berman engineering is levels beyond Gosco's.
Eh bien.
We lead in science and we lead in science and medicinal studies too, but unfortunately, most of that is tied to military research. If only such knowledge could be used for peace. Once the war ends for good, it might.
Oui.
You'll have to make it so then. Costco has much more luxurious fashion and cuisine, though.
Eh bien.
Things are more utilitarian back home. Not that I know much about food or fashion.
Oui.
Our cities are splendid for sure, but we have lost Parisia. You lost the place, but
So long as people want it to, the culture will live on and your cities will be rebuilt.
Oui.
indeed, Gosco will see a revival and soon. To that end, I hope you will aid me in forging peace between Gosco and Berman.
Ouais.
That I promise.
I know you'll likely take charge of Gosco one day. And now our last three are all with Brits. First off, we have part 3 of his links with Malt.
Eh.
Sorry for lashing out at you before. To me, it was a sign that we're true friends. I was happy, honestly. I just don't want to lose anyone else. If it were something beyond my control, maybe that I could accept, but it's hard to lose someone you feel you could have saved.
Ouais.
There's nothing I wouldn't do to...
But.
You'd best not keep those struggles to yourself. Sometimes you seem farther away than you look.
Pas de souci.
Don't worry about me.
It's that unwavering commitment and how you stay true to yourself that works miracles. I don't imagine it makes sense to you, but I believe it. True to myself, huh? I'm not sure I even know myself
Je m'en
anymore.
occupe.
I'm always here. If you ever feel lost, just look for me. If I'm smiling, then you can rest easy too.
Ouais.
Yeah, huh? I'll hold you to that, good pal.
Ouais.
I hope you do.
And next up, this one was a special one because we did not actually do this link at all, but I listed it as one I wanted to do. All 3 between Brits and Hack.
Can't wait for your next one. I can't wait for what now? Oh, hey, Brits. I was just saying I can't wait for The Adventures of Sucre. That's the story in the comic pages, right? How is it? I never read it myself.
Huh?
Wait, not even once? No, is that a problem?
Oh.
I don't believe it. I'm so jealous. Jealous how? You get to experience how awesome it is now for the very first time. I wish I could go back and do that again.
Sounds like quite the series. I've never read any comics before, to be honest.
You know what? I got every chapter of the series before this one. I'll lend them to you.
Wouldn't I need the very first series?
Nah, the story changes every season anyway. And they start with a description of the characters too. The first season would be the best place to start, but I don't have it with me.
So be it then. I'll start from this more recent series.
I'll go get them. I want to hear what you think when you're done.
Thanks. I'll dive right into them.
So, how are the comics?
They were somewhat confusing.
They were? Always seemed pretty clear to me.
You recall when the Doctor invented that tiny radio, right?
Yeah, I wish I had one just like it.
But no one could ever make anything like that, right? It's impossible.
Well, yeah, but this is just a comic. It's not a true story.
Even if you could build a radio that small, wouldn't the army come in and force the Doctor to work for them? Oops.
Maybe, but there aren't any soldiers or anything in the comic.
None? Then how do they defend their countries from attack?
Even more serious about stuff than I thought.
Am I?
Are you enjoying the comics now?
Much more after you explained a few things to me.
Would have done so sooner, but I never thought you would take it that seriously.
You weren't given the chance to read for fun back in the Burman army, and I never even thought to after coming to Gosco. Old habits are hard to break, apparently.
You know lots of other stuff we don't, though. That's pretty cool.
I'll need to expose myself to more interesting things, though, if I want a more well-rounded mind. Maybe it might teach me a thing or two.
You bet. I'm glad I have someone new to talk to about how awesome Sucre is. This comic is the whole reason I want to be an adventurer.
So, this is where you get all that excitement and energy from, is it?
Maybe. We should go adventuring together once you finish reading it.
That sounds fun. Better work my way through the rest of the comics.
The way you say it makes it sound like it's not fun.
Alright, and finally, the last one. Wappa and Brits, parts 2 and 3. Ready to instruct me on how to live free?
Did I promise something like that?
You swore I needed to learn how to live a proper free life here in Gosco. But it can't be that important if you forgot.
No, I was just exercising my freedom to choose the best time, see? Definitely didn't forget.
I'm sure. So tell me then, what does a true free life entail?
My style? I wake up when I feel like it, eat whenever I feel hungry.
I see.
And then when I start feeling tired, I sleep. Basically your dictionary definition of freedom, eh?
I'm not sure I can emulate that.
No? What's life back at home like for you?
I spend most of my time studying at school, actually.
You go to school? And study? On purpose? Give me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it.
I can imagine why. Hi, Wappa.
Hey,
Something wrong?
just thinking about school and studying and all that gave me such a headache.
You look like a student who just realized they forgot their homework.
Homework? Ugh, I feel even worse now.
If the very mention of school gets you this worked up, perhaps I should be the one teaching you about a normal life.
No thanks!
You should come visit my home someday. Then you can pay a visit to my school and experience the joys of learning.
Yeah, I guess it might be fun with you, but...
We could do our homework together once school is out too.
Okay, you know what? Never mind.
Good grief. Perhaps I'm not the only one who needs to learn how to live a proper life here in Gosco. And there we go! According to my notes, that's basically all the ones that we started but didn't finish in the stream series that I thought were noteworthy enough to include, I guess. If I missed a couple, then you know why then. Next, I'd like to move on to the resolution events. We did the empathy events in our stream playthrough, so I decided to go through it all and see what was the difference between these. It's not too much different. Just a couple different outcomes, but ultimately the story resolves in the same way. Hey, Malt? You have time to talk? Sure, yeah. What's up with you two? We're getting the sense that you've been a bit more rash with your decisions lately. Thought maybe we should ask about it. Have I? I hadn't really noticed myself. And that there's your problem. Always easier to take a wrench to something when you can tell it's acting up.
Rude of you to speak as rude of you to
Oh my god.
rude of you to speak of him as if he is merely some machine, is it not?
It's just a figure of speech, and no one was asking you. That's nice and all, but I was wondering who the fuck asked.
Do you not think Malt has been more reckless than usual recently? What you call reckless, I see as brave. A true leader must know when danger needs to be faced head on.
Uh-huh, sure. Thanks for the insight. We mean it, though. Don't forget you aren't in this alone. Ought to keep that in mind. I will. Thanks.
May.
What's wrong, May? Nothing. That's not your nothing's wrong face. If you don't want to tell Malt, how about you talk to old Wappa?
Don't be silly. There's nothing she'd keep from me.
Well, you know what?
Or maybe there is.
Aha! Well, Malt's the one to blame for that, eh?
I am? For what? What did I do now?
I was thinking the same myself, to be honest. You've been all over the place in battle lately. Charging head first too much, maybe? Got little May here all scared, you know. Just a little bit.
Is that all really my fault, though?
It's just, I don't know. Feels like you're getting anxious. We're getting to come up for air, you know?
Our enemies are not wont to allow us time to rest, I'm afraid.
Of course not, but we won't be much good if we're all worn out before they are, eh?
Well, you make a good point. I'll try to be a little more patient.
Désolé.
Sorry for scaring you, May.
It's okay. I'm gonna keep helping and fighting. Hey, Malt, mind if we chat?
Quoi?
I'm a little busy prepping for battle right now. Is it urgent?
No.
Oh no, maybe another time then.
Excuse-moi.
Looking for advice? Give yourself some time and you might find a solution comes clear to you on its own.
Oui.
Maybe, yeah. Guess I'll just sit on it a while.
Dis-moi.
Alright, I'd love to listen if you don't mind sharing. We're friends after all. We should be here for each other. That's how we got through the last war, right?
Merci.
Yeah, thanks.
Je m'excuse.
That is true. My apologies for responding rather brusquely, Boron.
Désolé.
Same here. I guess I was a bit too caught up in it all. I'm here to listen.
Ça va aller.
Thanks, but I think my problem just solved itself. Wasn't that lovely?
We gotta fix up the farm. Sure could use some helping hands.
Shall I have May round up volunteers? Malt, everybody says they're really busy.
Yeah, huh. Well, guess as long as everyone stays focused on their areas.
Mm-hmm. They said they're scared if they don't stay focused, then you'll be really mad at them.
I won't be mad at them. I won't be mad. I just want everyone to stay focused and alert. We might not be at war, but we're fighting just the same.
I'm kind of scared too.
May. Okay, if you have other stuff to do, you just go and worry about that, okay?
Okay. Well, I will still help, of course. Though I would rather not deal with the Moo Sheep or Cluckins.
Sure, yeah. Thanks.
Once this is all over and done with, they will come to understand. At least I do already.
Merci.
Thank you, Vanilla. That's good to hear.
Boy, you have proven yourself quite well.
Thanks. And thank you both for the airship, too.
Despite our years, this battle was the first of its kind for us. It may perhaps be the last as well. A thrilling spectacle indeed. You may have faced troubles along the way, but such matters little now when all is said and done. You did well.
Merci.
Thanks, Stolen.
You'd make a fine military man one day. And I mean by Bowman standards. Consider paying a visit someday, boy. No. I mean, Malt.
Non.
I think I'll pass.
Marte.
Malt, you'll forgive me, right?
Oui.
And me as well?
What's gotten into you both all of a sudden? Some of the tough choices you made for us and for all of Gosco had me worried, honestly.
Oui.
It was concerning to see you so much unlike your ordinary self. I don't see why you have to apologize for that.
I might have been a bit too hard on you about Hana and all. Sorry about that.
それ
I was a little scared of you too, but you just did what you had to for all our sakes, hmm?
でも
You took it upon yourself to ensure we'd all make it through.
Took it a bit too far, too, eh? You're the kind of guy who can take it, though.
まあ
Couldn't lead like you even if I tried. Nope, nope. I wish I could have helped out more.
おい
Yeah, me too.
どん
We're really sorry.
ないで
Maltz, I...
It's okay, May. You don't need to say a word. I'm sorry if I made you sad.
Désolé.
I didn't mean to, you know.
Eh.
You mind if I speak my mind too? Honestly, I might have been so focused on facing Jill that I stopped thinking about you and all of Gosco.
Way.
But I couldn't have made it this far or gotten Hana back without all of you.
マルト
Maltz.
Merci.
I should be the one asking you for forgiveness. I owe you all a lot.
You proved yourself a skilled leader, Maltz. Calm and collected, much like my father. The decisions you had to make must have hurt, but you pushed on with courage and determination.
Oui.
You led us here, made all our hopes and desires a reality.
Way.
I couldn't have done any of it if you hadn't taught me how to lead in the first place.
One day I am certain you will be an irreplaceable leader, making decisions none of us can yet dream of today.
ふむ
And when such a day comes, I hope I too will... No, bear me no mind. Just know I look forward to such a day.
I was also requested to show what happens if you don't get enough Link events with Vanilla, and she ends up losing her life in the explosion in Chapter 10. I did not feel like replaying the whole game to do this, though. But luckily, I got more than I bargained for when I looked it up on YouTube. Because, by looking it up, I learned that the Soul Cannon stuff is actually a bit different if you manage to let it fire. They add a bit more pathos to the whole thing. So we're going to check that out right now through this video. And I would like to give a special shout out to the Collector's Hubs for this video. It's not my own, I'll link the channel in the description though.
Sorry for all my pranks, but I wish they'd made you angry. I'm not afraid. If I get scared, everyone will... I'm sorry, Hack.
Chick, you have no reason to be sorry.
But I'm Hack's sister. I should have protected him.
Everyone feels the same way. I wanted to protect Hack too.
Yeah. Thanks, Walt. I want my mommy and daddy.
I have to get stronger, or I'll never be able to protect everyone. Damn it! I'm just too weak! That's why we had to resort to using the Soul Cannon.
Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. People always wish they could do more to change things. It's soul-crushing.
But I could've.
I'll do my best with you. But don't be mad anymore, Malt.
May, I just don't want to lose anyone else.
I want to be with everyone forever, too.
Yeah. Sorry, Sheena. Let's keep fighting and get stronger. Together.
Definitely. Everyone, I hope you all find my invention notes and put them to good use. I still have so much to invent.
It's Mountain Dew this time.
Why did it have to be Socks? He was so much smarter than me. He would have been more of a help.
Boron.
This can't be. Not Socks. Why couldn't it have been me instead?
No, Boron! Don't forget! You're an important friend to us all. No one could ever replace Socks, but no one could ever replace you either.
Not really sure where I'll end up after this, but I'm going out with a bang. Too soon.
Yo, why's she Urkel? It's too quiet. Oh, right. Wappa. You're always laughing, no matter the situation. It's so quiet without you around.
ありがとう。
Wappa, you always knew how to make us all smile. You really were our true leader.
あのさ、
I hope you're enjoying the long journey you're on now.
I'll use my no-no to protect everyone. I'm one with the no-no swarm.
Sheena. Huh? I wonder if Sheena's back home by now. Ritz. She's glowing like the light from the spell she used. Safe at home with her beloved family. Yeah, I bet that's exactly where she is now. The only reason I'm still here is because of her. Why couldn't it have been me instead?
あのさ、
If Sheena's the reason you're still alive, then don't say things like that.
ごめん。
It'll make her sad. Sorry, you're right.
Daddy, Mommy, don't be mad at Hack for all of his pranks.
I'm glad it was me, but I'm sorry, Mother Rita. We've lost half our numbers already. My friends. Can't stop now, though. The fate of Gosco, of the world, rests with us. But sometimes I worry we can't handle the weight of it. Lend us your strength, everyone. Right.
ありがとう。
Thanks, everyone. Dad, Mom, I guess this is all I could do. Damn it. I can hear that woman laughing at me now. And finally, we're at the place that started this whole little escapade. What happens if you don't bond enough with Vanilla after she blows up?
Blows up?
Right, Vanilla. Where's Vanilla?
子供たち
The somber faces of the children were all the answer Molt required. The Tyrannus had closed off the engine room to run self-repairs following the tragic blast, but even after it opened, there had been no sign of Vanilla.
バニラの姿はなかったという
No. Vanilla. Vanilla has left the crew. Anna, wonder if I'll be able to see you again. Things really are quiet. Too quiet to bear. We're the only ones left. The only ones who can take down the Vandergand and the Belanos. Can we, though? So few of us. Not even worth asking, is it? It's not a matter of can or cannot. It's just a matter of do or do not. Maybe I've been wrong all along. In fact, chances are I was, but if that turns out to be the case, I'll be there to apologize to everyone myself. I won't sit here and regret yet. Now is no time for tears of surrender. So come on, let's go. We can still do this, even if it costs us our lives. I thought I'd finally be able to do my best with everyone. I should have tried sooner.
Daddy, Mommy, I'm worried about Malt. Please watch over him.
And finally, like we went over in the actual stream, Malt's sacrifice basically is only allowed to happen in this final cutscene. The random decision of the Soul Cannon is not really random, because Malt can only die here if you use him in the Soul Cannon. Lieutenant Muscat! There's no one inside. Not even a corpse. That can't be. These children, it's because of them that Gasco... No, the entire world is saved. They were just normal children living peaceful lives until we subjected them to this cruel conflict. Vanilla, forgive your foolish sister. You all were the true soldiers.
We shall never forget your sacrifice. I swear it on the peace of Gasco.
From there, the ending more or less plays out the same, except for one scene right at the end. Thanks to the dedication and sacrifice of the children, Gasco had avoided certain destruction yet again. Tales passed down through the generations of the brave children who fought to protect Gasco, and the people of the land swore an oath. To protect the peace, those children had sacrificed everything for. Next up, I'd like to take a look at the secret files. We got a whole host of files in the main game of Fuga 2, but there are a whole bunch of ones that you can only get in New Game Plus. So I would like to start off with the two Cayenne's journal entries that were locked behind it, being number 3 and number 5. Just as I was about to call for examinations into how we might use the Tyrannus as a key point in our attack on the Burman Empire, I was contacted by a mysterious man via a transmission meant only to be used by me, the President. He told me of a boy named Jill who slumbered aboard the Tyrannus, and of a weapon called the Belenos, which was meant for him. Said that if we restore the Belenos, we can both recover and gain control of the Vanargen. I quickly scrapped all my former plans and turned my attention to the restoration of this Belenos. Now our invasion of the Burman Empire would be at the hands of the Vanargen. There's an obvious reason why now I realize that this one was skipped in favor of doing 4 for the final chapter in the first playthrough, and that is for that mysterious figure who calls Cayenne. How he got access to the President's line, I have no fucking clue. But you know, whatever. The heroes of the war, the children of the Tyrannus, now stand in the way of my revenge. I expected some obstacles, but never such fierce resistance as this. I never could have foreseen Vanilla joining their ranks and fighting alongside them aboard the Tarascus. Perhaps I should have. Maybe I taught her to be this way. She was an emotional, difficult-to-handle student, but never was one to lack motivation once she was set on doing something. It seems ages ago now that I used to encourage her to use that strength of hers. It pains me to have to end her young life now, but surely she will be reunited with her father and mother in heaven. Forgive me, Vanilla. You were a great student to me. Okay, I feel like now would be the best point to discuss Cayenne, considering I didn't really have a big opportunity to do so in the main game. He's like the weakest part of the writing by fucking far. Mostly because of how he is executed as a twist. it has setup, but really it does just kind of come out of nowhere, especially with certain points, like how he was President Muscat, or he was disguised as President Muscat the entire time. Stuff like that just doesn't quite sit right with me, and I'm able to overlook most of it because the rest of the writing in this game is just so freaking solid. But I don't know, like, as a whole, like, I don't know, I think if they, like, took some time to, like, write this guy out of the story and, like, think of something else, I'm not sure. I feel like it would make more sense for Shane to, like, have survived the collapse of the building or whatever, and, like, not have Cayenne be a factor whatsoever. Or alternatively, set it up, like, a bit more. I get what they were going for, having Vanilla have even more of a connection to the main plot in this way, but it just comes across a bit sloppy. Like, this character doesn't really need to exist, and the fact that his face is just staring at me with the most smug, shit-eating expression while I discuss why his character doesn't work for me is really pissing me off. Let's move on to the next secret reports, the Crusade reports. Crusade is an organization formed to free humanity from its dependence on the higher dimensional information entities known as Juno, in order to prevent the collapse of society as a whole. It views the domination by Juno-produced weapons, the Titano Machina, as a clear and present threat, and works to research and develops methods of resistance to them. Though its efforts focus on counteracting Juno, the organization is not against the use of technology with Juno origins. It utilizes that which it can, and works proactively to find ways in which to recreate and replace said technology with human engineering. Crusade's goal is to close the tech gap between nations which possess Juno and those which do not. One day an engineer, a woman who was quite frankly a true genius, joined Crusade. While most of humanity had come to accept that they could not comprehend the advanced data provided by Juno, but accepted its use as a tool to bring new advancements into their lives, this woman was different. She not only understood the data it provided, but possessed phenomenal skill in coordinating the conversion of it using available technology, or that which could soon be developed. She even managed to recreate technology much like the AI-like avatars Juno utilized in order to communicate with humanity. Creating an avatar in her own image, she named this new AI, Jean. So technically I was right, that Jean is an AI based off of this human character that raised Jill. But we don't know if this person herself was named Jean, she just named the AI Jean. I'm gonna headcanon that she was also named Jean, though. Just makes things simpler for me. The world was overrun with Titano Machina, massive weapons of war produced by Juno. Power lay firmly in the hands of nations with Titano Machina of their own, and those without Juno were left to either ally with such nations or pray they might be spared. The battlefields Titano Machina were deployed to were like hell on earth. Lands were laid to waste and doomed to never see restoration again. In response to this, a plan was devised to develop a weapon which could destroy the Titano Machina and revitalize the dying planet. And thus, two machines were born. The Tyrannus to destroy the Titano Machina, and the Belenos to bring life back to the Earth. Okay, so I assumed as much with the Belenos. I was thinking to myself, why would there be another enemy tank, and why would it, like, have the ability to bring things back from the dead? This more or less makes sense and lines up with what happens in the game and what that tank's abilities are, so fair enough. Like the Tyrannus, the Belenos was designed to be operated by particular pilots. These pilots were to be pseudo-hybrids, based on the cyborg hybrids created to operate the Titano Machina. Though they looked like young teenage boys and girls, their information processing and physical abilities were far greater than that of any human. They needed to be in order to control such massive influxes of information and overcome the extreme tests they were forced through. Crusade's genius engineer was an irreplaceable part of the team tasked with creating these children, and she was eventually made leader of the entire operation. As chief lead of the team, the woman followed Crusade's orders and created countless pseudo-hybrids. Many of these creations were taken out of service when control of the Belenos proved difficult during testing. But even as chief of the team, the woman seemingly was not initially made aware of this fact. Once she found out this terrible truth, she joined the team and began making adjustments to the Belenos as well, using feedback gained from their efforts to redesign her pseudo-hybrid children.
At first, the pseudo-hybrids did not express much in the way of emotion. Their reactions to most stimuli were limited at most. However, the newly designed children were nearly indistinguishable from actual human youth. Where before they were identified only by model number, the woman called them each by name now and did her utmost to engage them in conversation. These new children had a normal range of emotions. They would laugh and grow angry and even cry. And it was with this diverse new range of emotional understanding that they were able to fine-tune the Belenos. One day, one such child was born, a pseudo-hybrid who was named Jill. And now we get to the records of an engineer, which is probably, her. The woman I call Jean, who doesn't actually have a name. I sincerely believe in Crusade's mission to bring equality to a world which has been stratified by Juno, but I can no longer endure the number of children sacrificed in development of the Belenos. I have secretly altered the priority criteria of the defense AI in Alter. Normally the defenses would protect this facility from any outside threats, but now whenever the Belenos and the children piloting it are present, it should switch priority to keeping them safe. This may result in the system working against Crusade by my own hand, but I am ready to accept such a fate. I will do whatever it takes. So yeah, judging by that and the graphic in the background here, this is the lore for the Matir fight, which I believe was in chapter 7. Parry and post, if that's wrong, put like a text thing there, changing to what it really is. Jill, of all my children, you kept me busiest. You had such an ego, always troubling us with your selfish demands. But perhaps all this explains why you so deftly took control of the Belenos. Your curiosity fostered within you a desire to see the world outside these walls. And as I watched, I wanted nothing more than for the Belenos to become the feet by which you traveled, the wings on which you flew as you took to the whole wide world. We began practical testing on the Belenos. Our results, however, were far from promising. The recreation of nanometal proved no issue, but we were left with nothing but problems when attempting to recreate life forms. Perhaps we are seeing now that none but God could restore life to where it was once lost. But if we do succeed in doing so, we will have finally surpassed Juno technology. Despite countless attempts, we have yet to fully restore any living organism. At best, we have created nothing more than zombies, mobile but absent of life or will. Such results are far from what we have set out to accomplish. Per the results of our final field tests, further development on the Belenos has been called off indefinitely. The machine proved incapable of providing the results we required. All the children sacrificed in our quest for progress were for naught. The only saving grace is knowing that Jill, who suffered through so much in our tests, will need to suffer no more. I received word that Jill would be deployed to the Tyrannus. They're planning to use him as energy for the Soul Cannon. The Soul Cannon requires a sacrifice to be fired, but a pseudo-hybrid like Jill can power it without any loss of life, they tell me. But I ask this, do they truly not know that he will be instead forced to live through pain equivalent to such instead?
Man, I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but just the jump from what I assume a time skip between the first paragraph and the second paragraph is just heartbreaking. She thought that he was safe, but he was just far from it. And to think that because Jill lost part of his memory, he was blaming his mama, who really only wanted to look out for him after all was said and done. Bit fucked up.
Jill smiled no longer when he returned from the battlefield. Who could? He had been forced to endure the equivalent of death time and time again. I can't stand for this anymore. This poor child should never have to suffer death again. This has gone on far too long. We've received word that the most terrible of all Titanomachina, the Vannergund, now has us in its sights. This will surely be Jill's last deployment, but be that as it may, I will not allow the boy to suffer the Soul Cannon again. I should be the one to suffer for all this, for all the pain I have imposed on these children. So here, in the very end, I will bear this burden. If we lose here today, it can only mean that God has seen fit to punish us for our sins. Jean may suffer from what I am about to do, but if such is so, at least Jean, Jill, and myself will all leave this world together. Perhaps it is even better that way.
God, it really is just such a tragic backstory that really just adds even more to the little archives that you get in Fuga 1. Like I said, Cayenne really is just the one weak point of this game's writing, because everything else just hits perfectly for me, basically. Not perfectly, nothing's perfect, but like, as close to perfect as it gets. Man. And that's all the Crusade reports in the Records of Engineers, but there is one more that you get for clearing New Game Plus. A man's quiet musings. I guess humanity finally found equality, just in total annihilation at the hands of Juno. I really risked it hedging my bets on how far the damage would spread, but it looks like I made the right choice, huh? All my prep out here in this dark, frozen wasteland finally paid off. Now I get to take back everything that was stolen from me. Now I do wonder who that's supposed to be, And yeah, that's all the extra files you get for New Game Plus. Next up, I went out and grinded through this game like 3 separate times to get all the gears on the side of the title screen to light up. It's time to check out Fuga 2's secret movie. Let's see what's up. Top secret. I shouldn't be showing this, but I am.
お前は大きくなったな、マルト。メイも元気そうだな。
Hey, buddy. What's your deal, brother?
目を覚ましたマルトが見たのは絶望の光景だった。
Huh.
突然の開戦、そして仲間たちの死。
これが僕らの守ってきた未来だなんて。
あの子は分身の生まれ変わりなんだよ。98回だけの。
私はもう。
Ah.
ここにはある王の国があったんだ。この力の流れは
仕組まれていたのか。
英雄を生み出すために存在する村だったっけ。
Huh.
まだ生きている。
Oh, hey, Flom. Huh.
やり直そう。やり直しだ。もう一度。
敗北が確定した運命のフラグ。タラニスに残されていたシークレットオーダー。メイのせいなんだよね。
あいつほど自分たちの可能性を信じている者。
Huh.
僕の世界を救うんだ。
What?
すべてを失ったマルトが選んだたった一つの答えとは。
これは僕が世界を裏切る物語だ。
I'm sorry, what? Okay, I'm gonna run that through one more time. Try to analyze it bit by bit. I am a bit lost. Okay, so of course, it starts out the exact same as the end of the Fuga 2 post-credit scene, with new visuals, of course. But we see Malt and his brother reunite, as well as the Tyrannus come back, which, yeah,
目を覚ました。
I have questions about that. But then we see this, and I'm not entirely sure about what this is all about. This king-looking guy.
マルトが見たのは絶望の光景。
A scene of pure despair, it appears.
そして仲間たちの死。
And they say war broke out, claiming the lives of his friends. So it's some kind of like bad future scenario that he sees, which I assume would have something to do and something to connect with Maestro, who, you know, is a character who not only shows up in Fuga 2 as somebody who alters the timeline and stuff, but also he shows up in this teaser. But that is maybe on the lower end of what I am like confused about here. That seems relatively sober. This are they implying that that was Boron before it turned into this guy, right? Boron is a reincarnation of whoever this fucking guy is. That's probably some like timeline stuff, but here That's Jill in the back. That's Jill in the back. And I'm curious what that means, why he's like there with Hana when we got Hana out of the Belenos and the True Ending. I'm not 100% sure.
ここにはある王の国があったんだ。この力の流れは
仕組まれていたのか。
The village is a birthplace of heroes. This power, we were set up from the start. And then we see the city, which is like, this has to be like an old world thing, right? Because they wouldn't just put that in the Fuga world. That just seems like too big of a jump, too big of a leap. There's Flom.
まだ生きている。
And there's some kind of like army and a big old tank. I have a feeling that's supposed to be another old world thing. And here's Maestro.
やり直しだ。もう一度。
His voice sounds a bit different than it did in Fuga 2, but then again, in Fuga 2, we really only heard him laugh.
敗北が確定した運命の
And like a few keywords. A destined banner scorched by the fires of defeat.
タラニスに残されていた
The secret orders left behind in the Tyrannus. And then we see the fucking planet blow up. I am assuming this is another old world thing, although it's saying, Malt, is this all my fault? Leads me to think otherwise?
メイのせいなんだよね。
あいつほど自分たちの可能性を信じている者はいなかった。
And there's this shot from space, which has me... This is the part where I was like, huh? What the fuck are we doing? There was that thing in the Sucre comic where the moon started getting closer to the planet, but like... Huh. Save the world I left behind.
すべてを失ったマルトが選んだたった一つの答えとは。
これは
And then we get this.
僕が世界を
The
裏切る
story of how I betrayed the world. What are they cooking? What are they talking about? I'm honestly not too sure. But hey, that's something for me to figure out in a couple years' time, I guess. For now, though, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna go explode, I think.